Hello, Year Sevens. This is your next instruments of the orchestra lesson for this unit. I would like a heading that says brass family, please. Going on, so brass instruments are quite different from the strings and woodwind that we've had before. Obviously made of brass, and also actually made the sound is made quite uniquely. Whereas you would actually, in a string instrument, you actually run a bow against the string, and it would cause a friction for the sound, and the sound resonates through that. With a woodwind instrument, normally you just blow into it, but for a brass instrument, you actually have to form your lips in a certain way to make sound. If you just blow, it actually you can't make a sound on a brass instrument. Instead, you have to do what we call buzzing. Buzzing is kind of like blowing a raspberry. If you're not sure what that means, go to Google. I'm sure you'll know what that is just from that. Incidentally, go ahead and look up buzzing. But without buzzing our lips, you can't make a sound on a brass instrument. Now, I would like you to write these instruments down in order that I present it, because they are from highest to lowest. Okay, so the first one I want you to write is the trumpet, followed by the flugelhorn, followed by the French horn, followed by the tuba, and trombone. Lastly is the tuba. Trombone second last. Okay, now keep in mind, the bigger the instrument, the lower it gets. Now, this is actually the third lowest sounding instrument, and even though it looks smaller, that is because the tubes are actually rolled around. If they're probably more than like 10 meters in length to actually if you stretch this out. All right. Just that's for your information. So make sure you put a heading that says brass section and the list of these instruments. Okay, we're just going to have a listen to what a brass instrument sounds like.
My name is Grant, and I'm the conductor of the orchestra. Let's meet the brass section. The tuba.
So this is the biggest of them.
The trombones.
I'm just going to pause just real quick. You might have noticed that the trombones have a slide as opposed to valves or buttons like the tuba did, along with the other instruments you're about to see. And you can hear that it actually makes a bendy, slidey sound that the other brass instruments can't do. So that's a really interesting feature that the trombone can do. So I'm going to keep going.
The trumpets.
They're very good at fanfares, the trumpet.
The horns. Together, the brass section sounds like this. That is the brass section.
Okay, I hope you found that those instruments interesting. you might have noticed that all of these instruments are considerably louder and brighter, and they can actually really project compared to the other instruments, okay? Also, their metallic sounds really helps them give a bit of edge into their sound versus the woodwind and strings. So you can hear the difference between all of these different sections and how much, when you play them apart, how different they are from each other. And when you combine that, that really sounds extraordinary. So, yeah, let's move on. Here is an activity for you guys. We're going to listen to the main theme to Star Wars, and I would like you to answer these questions. I will help you along the way. With the try to fill these out with the blanks. The melody of the main theme is played on the blank with other brass instruments such as blank accompanying. What is playing the main melody at the start? The middle section is softer and is played by the who? When the main theme returns, it is played loudly with many instruments, including make a list. In the next section, list some instruments that get a short solo. Here, what play the main theme in the next time it comes in? As the music fades out, what can be heard? Now, let me tell you this. It is also played by strings and woodwind, so you'll need to tell them apart. So again, this is why we've done all these other sections in the past, so you can tell them apart. It's quite distinct, every section. You should be able to tell the difference. Let's have a go. I'll cue you along the way. Now, this version of Star Wars isn't actually the film version. It's actually a flash mob in Cologne, in Germany. So I would like you to make sure you have filled in those questions so you can answer along the way, okay? Here we go. What's the first instrument happening here? What else is playing? List the instruments. This is the soft section. What's going on there? Who's playing? So this is the theme coming back. Okay, I hope you found that interesting. Go back to these questions and fill these in. So the main theme returns. It is played loudly with many instruments. So basically the same as the trumpet played. Who played that afterwards? Okay, this is after the soft section that I pointed out. In the next section after that, what instruments are playing get a short solo? Is there any instruments could you hear that were playing a short solo, playing by itself? Okay, so as the music fades out, what can be heard? All right, or music concludes. I should say. All right. So, okay, so that's pretty much it. Just wanted to show you some less common instruments. This includes woodwind and strings and other instruments as well as brass. They traditionally are not always in the orchestra, but sometimes can feature. So here we go. So this is the piccolo flute. The bass flute. This is the sub-contra bass flute. So traditionally flutes are small and high pitched, but this is humongous. And then there's the piccolo clarinet and the contrabass clarinet. Sopranino saxophone, which is smaller than the soprano sax, and then the bass saxophone, which is bigger than the baritone sax, which I showed you last class. Sub-contra saxophone, even bigger than that bass saxophone. Here's the piccolo trumpet, even smaller than the regular trumpet. Can play even higher. The bass trumpet, the opposite direction. Piccolo French horn. And then again the opposite, contra French horn. Piccolo trombone. Then the contra bass trombone, even bigger. In case you're interested, he's playing the piece from the cello piece I played a few weeks back. This is an even bigger tuba called Big Carl. So
When I first
I
saw
hope
this
you
part,
found that
I thought it looked
interesting.
kind of crazy.
Excuse
Didn't
me.
really understand.
Hope you found that interesting. All I want you to do is take a photo of the notes you have filled in and the questions you have answered from the brass video, okay? That's all I need you to do today is from the Star Wars thing, okay? Please observe the due date, and you have any issues, please don't forget to ask your teacher. All right. Good luck, guys. See you next time.